Previously on The Sims 4 Big Brother. Mark, the unemployed friend of the world from Strangerville, became the first head of household of the season, but the level 1 twist was unleashed. The house was split into boys and girls, and Mark became the boys' head of household. However, he had to choose Vanessa to become the girl head of household. Mark and Vanessa both bonded while living in the lap of luxury, while the rest of the house was in turmoil over a pranked toilet, leaving half of them to piss themselves, leaving many of them in danger of dying of embarrassment. The boys were unable to bond and strategize as the girls had concocted a plan to always interrupt them and never leave them alone. Milani kept her supernatural powers from the rest of the house, but being a mermaid comes with some demands. And with such small quarters, who knows just how long she'll be able to keep that secret. When it came down to nominations, Mark had his pick of the 7 girls remaining in the house. And out of that 7, Mark chose Angela and Cassandra to face eviction. Out of the 7 remaining boys, Vanessa chose Joaquin and Akira to face eviction. But with 2 power of vetoes coming into play, who will win and will the nominations change? Find out now on Sims 4 Big Brother. After being nominated, Angela, Cassandra, Joaquin, and Akira all have become the first have-nots of the season. All of them are only allowed to sleep in the have-not room, which is located upstairs. This room has filthy clothes and radioactive junk, not to mention it is infested with rats. And Akira might be ready to leave the have-not room already, but if he wants to leave it for sure, he's going to need to win that PoV and get himself off the block. Downstairs, most of the house guests are still in the living room, and it looks as though Vanessa is already taking this time to sort of make amends with the rest of her house guests. She did just do the first set of nominations, and the first HOH can be a tricky one, as you're just now meeting these people, you're already nominating them, and this can put a target on not only your back, but their back pretty instantly. So she's already kind of trying to talk to people, make a little speech in front of the group, sort of like let them know that she's not actually a threat. You know, she got chose to be this HOH, but we'll have to wait and see if that works for her. Upstairs in the arcade room, we see that Rohan is taking a little bit of alone time to practice the Blick Block game. Who knows if this is going to pay off in the future or not. However, one thing is for sure, and that is that spending time in the gym is super important, because this skill will definitely help in a lot of the competitions coming up in the future. And we see that Dina is taking that time to work out now, while Angela, on the other hand, is taking this time to relax in the pool and get a little bit of a tan. Soon, Joaquin comes to join Angela by the pool and maybe to bond with her over being nominated for the first week. However, Angela just honestly isn't really feeling it. What's the point of talking game to this guy when either of them could be going home and he's not going to be able to vote for her? So she instantly just swims away and leaves Joaquin on his own by the pool. Meanwhile, Zoe is taking this time to bond with the hamster. Not, any of the other Sims that she's living with, but the hamster. but I would too, he is pretty cute. Knox watches in the background while sitting at the chess table. Again, this would be a prime opportunity for them to actually talk to one another and bond, but neither of them really take that opportunity. Meanwhile, the house soon becomes a scramble as everyone starts to try to get ready for the Power of Veto competition coming up. There's a lot of last-minute game talk, a lot of discussion over whether they would use it if they won or not, and a lot of running up and down the stairs as quickly as they can. It looks as though there could be a potential alliance brewing between Rashida, Cassandra, and Johnny. The girls try to talk over a plan, however, they are soonly interrupted by Big Brother telling everyone to go ahead and gather outside before we start choosing players for the veto competition. Alright, so we're going to do ladies first, and as a quick reminder, Mark became the boys' head of household, and he could only nominate 2 women to face eviction. He chose both Angela and Cassandra to face eviction because he was the least closest to them out of the group. All 3 of them will automatically play in the veto competition, however, they're all able to pick one person that they're closest to compete alongside them. So we're going to go ahead and look at all of their relationship statuses and see who they're closest to that is a girl, and they will compete in this veto competition. Now again, only girls are able to compete in this apart from Mark the HOH. Based on Mark's relationship statuses, he is closest to Zoe, so Zoe will be competing in this competition. Next up is Cassandra. Let's take a look and see who she is closest to. And Cassandra has chosen Nalani to compete alongside her in the veto competition. Now, all we have left is Angela's pick. And based off that, Angela has picked Rashida to compete alongside her in the veto competition. Cassandra, Nalani, Mark, Zoe, Angela, and Rashida, all of you can head back into the challenge arena to compete in the Power of Veto. And we're going to have Vanessa, our other HOH, host this POV for us, but welcome, house guest, to your first Power of Veto competition. And this one is called Hit Your Target. Now, it's all pretty easy. Once you guys have all settled in, you're going to line up in a row and play a game of darts. Now, whoever is able to get the highest score in the darts will win the Power of Veto. Now again, with the Power of Veto, you are able to either keep nominations the same, take yourself off the block, or take someone else off the block. And whoever is removed then has to be replaced by Mark's choosing. So why don't all of you go ahead and line up, and let's start this competition. And with a score of 12, congratulations, Angela! You are the first winner of the Power of Veto, and you are able to save yourself from eviction. But this does mean that Mark is going to have to name a replacement nominee. But for now, why don't we go ahead and pick players for the boys' Power of Veto competition? Now, again, Vanessa became the girl HOH, and she nominated both Joaquin and Akira. The three of them will participate in the power of veto, but again, they're going to be able to choose who fights alongside them by who they are closest to. So first up, why don't we look at Vanessa and see which boy she's closest to. And Vanessa has chosen Bob to play in the power of veto. Next up, why don't we look at Akira's relationships? And Akira has chosen Johnny, which now leaves for Joaquin to pick his player. And Joaquin has picked Knox. So that means Akira, Johnny, Vanessa, Bob, Joaquin, and Knox, all of you will compete in the Power Veto competition, and all of you are able to head on into the challenge arena and compete in the Hit the Target Veto competition. So for round 2, we're going to be doing the exact same thing. So immediately we're going to line up all of our contestants. They're going to play one round of darts, and whichever one scores the highest will win Power of Veto. Looks like Johnny already isn't feeling too good. Let's see if he's able to pull through. All of you are able to begin.
Wombosi? Sebrim?
Oh, Fumadag.
Lucipiti? Zimastay! Lumis! Instadorban! Yigla trees! Oh yeah, Nopsa!
And with a high score of 11, congratulations, Knox. You are the second winner of the Power of Veto. As we have now found our 2 POV winners, we now have to have our 2 POV ceremonies. So why don't we go ahead and have the girls gather around in the living room, and let's have Mark come on in here. Now, again, as a quick reminder, Mark had to nominate 2 girls for eviction. He chose Angela and Cassandra. But as Angela has won the Power of Veto, she is now able to save herself, and she will now be removed from the block, leaving one space open. And now Mark has to nominate someone as a replacement. Now, like always, we're going to go and open that relationship status area, and we're going to see who he is second, third, least closest to in the house. And Mark has chosen Nalani to be the replacement nominee. So Nalani and Cassandra, both of you are up for eviction, and one of you will be going home on Friday. The boys will be voting for which girl they want to see leave the house in the next episode. Who do you want to see go home? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, it's time to swap the girls and the guys. We're going to have the guys come into the living room, and we're going to figure out what they're going to do with the veto. Now, as we know, Vanessa, as the girl's head of household, dominated both Akira and Joaquin. However, Knox is the winner of the power of veto. Now, we know Joaquin had chosen Knox to play in the power of veto because that's who he was closest to. However, that doesn't mean that Knox is closest to Joaquin. Let's say he's closest to Vanessa, he would keep nominations the same. Or if he was closest to Akira, he would choose to remove Akira from the block. So we're gonna have a little look and see what Knox's relationships is with everyone involved. And this has to hurt Joaquin, but Knox has chosen to use the power of veto on Akira, meaning Vanessa is going to have to choose a replacement nominee. Now, as a quick reminder, she cannot pick the winner of the power of veto, as that has granted them safety as well. And Vanessa has chosen Johnny to be the replacement nominee, meaning Johnny and Joaquin, both of you now face eviction and one of you will be going home in Friday's episode. The girls will vote which one they want to see leave, and they will immediately be leaving the house, alongside the one girl that is voted out as well. Now, as both Akira and Angela have been removed from the block, they are both no longer have-nots, and they are being replaced in that have-not room by Johnny and Nalani. That's kind of good. Johnny and Nalani. And I also like Johnny and Joaquin. J and J are up on the block. But anyway, Johnny and Nalani are now able to check out the have-not room and see what their new digs are for potentially their last few days in the house. Wouldn't that suck for it to be the first week? They've already had, I feel like half the houses being put on the block because of this double nominations twist. And then not only that, but you're backdoored, become a have-not, have to sleep in this rat-infested radioactive room, and then you're sent home. Oof, but we'll have to see. Maybe the two of them will get to work and start strategizing and trying to earn votes. Either way, Johnny needs to start talking to some of the girls, and Nalani needs to start talking to some of the boys. But we'll see who goes home on the next episode, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye.